coalitions, for various reasons, including as a condition from the Dutch for funding, the MPs and ministers have been asked for voluntary reductions in their salaries. As you're working on the budget for 2025, is it your intention to ask for those kinds of reductions from ministers or members of parliament?
That's a very good question, and I would definitely want to entertain such a discussion with both ministries, ministers, and Parliament. I must admit that this has not been an ongoing discussion, but is definitely something that we can consider based on the amendment that can come.
Ministry of Finance, I'll take that right away. Minister, you said in your open remarks that the budget 2025 should be going to Parliament next week.
Yes.
What I'd like to know, and that's if you could give it to us, because sometimes you hold back a little bit.
And I will hold back again.
No. The former government, they had in their capital expenditures several projects that had to be executed. For example, the side roads, secondary roads, and all the kind of roads that we have. Do you know if those projects are now included in the 2025, because it was supposed to be in 2024, it was pushed to 2025. So I'd like to know if, because knowing that we have a deplorable, not only road, infrastructure, and drainage situation since the rainfall, if government, especially your ministry with VROMI, is prioritizing these projects.
It's important that I allow protocol to be established. And first, I think what needs to happen is that I go to Parliament next week and I present such budget 2025 to the leaders of this country. And I encourage you and everyone else to basically tune in. I think we'll be going over on the 18th to Parliament and discuss this budget in detail. But I want you to know that this government has taken the issues of this country into consideration, not only based on the fact that it was created since April, but since we came in, we have adjusted accordingly because we do recognize the issues. Roads is one, and we could sit down here until tonight and name a list of other issues that are affecting this country. So allow me first to present to the leaders of this country, and then I will come back and answer any questions that you may have on Budget 2025.
Minister, you in your opening statement referred to this initiative that was signed between the One St. Martin Association and the Baku. The coalition, or the Council of Ministers now should be working on their governing program.
Yes.
So would you like to clarify what is government's position on independence and how it will figure into your governing term? Because this is something you are mentioning and clearly should be mentioned in the governing program. So could you clarify what's government's position?
Well, first, thank you for your question, Emily. The St. Martin needs to be self-sufficient. So this government is going to be for sure looking into ways to make sure that the country is self-sustained. And I think once that is established, that means an independent, functioning country on its own. So with all these, based on everything that we're going to be working on, restructuring how certain processes go, digitization, making sure that some of the entities become privatized, maybe like the agriculture department. That the vision in general from this based on what I have read from before and what I know and the projects that we're working on, is to ultimately make St. Martin a self-running, self-sustainable country. And that would ultimately lead to independence, but that's not for me to decide. That's, of course, for the people to decide. You would have to give this government a chance for the next 4 years to realize this self-sustainability trajectory. And then once that time comes and once that's been established, then we can discuss maybe having a referendum and maybe asking the people if they want independent, yes or no.
So just for clarity, working towards
Sustainability.
sustainability or independence, financial independence is different than formal independence, declaring yourself independent. Will government specify clearly its position in its governing program? And are you referring to your position or government's position?
I'm referring to government's position on the type of projects that it's working on. And I think once a country is functioning the way it's supposed to be functioning, more self-reliant and more sustainable, then there's going to come a time that a referendum is going to call. When, we don't know. But I think we need to get these things in place during this term. And then one day we make a decision and we decide if a referendum will be called. That's not something I don't think we're going to put it in the governing program. Not sure yet if what the call of the call to independence may look like, but I know what the road is towards that, and that is what we're focusing on. One day a referendum has to be called in this country. It's been more than 2 decades. So eventually we will be going there, but we want to make sure that the people have enough faith in us and, have enough to feel that, trust in us to feel that we can have that day. One day, what are we going to do? Go back to becoming an associate member? The only way is to move towards more of a sustainable and self-reliant country. That's, I think, everyone's focus.
The National Alliance and UP, 3 Secretary Generals had been dismissed, and 2 of them won their cases. One of them is Mr. Yushia, who was the Secretary General of the Ministry of Justice. And he is now back, as seen from the pictures. He's working as a legal advisor now. And how is he going from the position of SG for many, many years? Won his cases in court, is back at the ministry, but cannot hold the position of SG because somebody else has been appointed in the meantime.
I'll clarify that. I think it's maybe not very nice to speak very specifically about people maybe in a press briefing, but I will clarify at least Mr. Yusa's role. He was never Secretary General. He was acting Secretary General for quite a while. I believe he was the head of judicial affairs officially. And I think that's a personnel matter that's separate in respect to he's not back in the ministry. He's actually a part of my cabinet. He's actually my senior subject specialist and legal advisor within the cabinet, so he's not directly a civil servant within the ministry.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXV, yeah. Your social health insurances.
sound like this. You gotta be like this. Why? Why take you away from you? I find that to be very selfish on their part. Does not have to be a part of what and who you are. You can always be yourselves. Please take those words to be what your mantra is. I am who I am, not who you want me to be. And we're gonna have us a good old time on the Voices of this month. And we're gonna raise a lot of money. And we're gonna get you all to the point where vote will be your destination.
Yes. All right, thank you so much, Ms. Miller. Before we close out, I want to introduce you to the Vegetable St. Martin Foundation members. I would like to introduce once again our president, Ms. Rita Gums. Our business and development is VP Milani. Also, Ms. Deborah Hamilton, our business and development. She joined us all the way from Maryland, and she's also a part of our board, and I'm also a board member as well. So, we're working very hard to try to get all of these Florida State University.
SXM, your social and health insurance is SXM, your social and health insurance is.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXV, yeah, your social and health insurance is.
St. Martin, listen up. The Civil Registry Department has taken 7 services online. That's right, you can now request a family tree, local address change, migration deregistration, a registration form, requests for existing certificates, transfer your driver's license, and a driver's license declaration, all online. Go to services.stmartingov.org/civil registry and easily complete a request form for the service that you need. You can also pay for the services online using a major credit card or debit card and receive certain final products digitally as well. No traffic jams, no waiting in lines, and if you're on island or off, you now have full digital access to 7 civil registry services at services.stmartingov.org/civil registry. That's services.stmartingov.org/civil registry. For more information, call 542-0652. Now go online and request your service form today.
It's time for a new brand that is as bold, vibrant, and colorful as the island of St. Martin, with colors drawn from our diversity, cultural heritage, and nature. Our breathtaking beaches, waters, and sun, the majestic brown pelican, our national symbol, the radiant yellow sage, our national flower, the historic border monument signifying the Dutch and French sides, our exciting cruise, yachting, and boating ports, renowned Maho Beach and St. Martin Airport, the hub to the Caribbean. All these parts come together to create the shape of the island of St. Martin. More than a logo. It's a new brand that engages, excites, and will inspire travelers to book. It's time to tell the St. Martin story, to reintroduce travelers to St. Martin, to honor our past, to embrace our present, and shape our future. Our culture and diversity, Dutch and French sides, unrivaled cuisine, twice the nightlife, entertainment, and shopping, cruises, boating, and yachting, twice the adventure, exploration, and relaxation, splendid and scenic accommodations, Pinel, Tentamar, and island hopping in the Caribbean. Whatever your taste, St. Martin has more. Experience twice the Caribbean. St. Martin.
A distraught Desmond Beckles at a loss for words as he tries to recount how he learned his brother, 64-year-old Cedric Beckles, had been fatally struck by a motor vehicle early Wednesday morning.
I was inside lying down. Police come and knock my door. Called me and tell me it was an accident. And what it was, so they asked me if I'm willing to come and go and see what going on. I asked the officer, is something wrong? Tell me, just come and see. But they didn't tell me that he was knocked down. It's only after, when they get down to the streets, then the officer told me, tell me, so, your body dead.
Beckles shares that he was the primary caregiver for his brother, who suffered from dementia. He explains that it was not uncommon for his brother to wander.
When they can't find him, it's got me worried. I'd be all night. That and I'd be looking for him the night that he even died. I was looking for him. I sit down by my bed. Look at someone wonder. What if he found?
As it relates to details on the incident, police responded to the scene here at Waterford Boulevard in St. Michael, approximately 150 meters south of the Clyde Walcott roundabout, around 1:20 a.m. after receiving a call from a motorist. Upon arrival, ambulance personnel were already on site and confirmed that there were no signs of life. CBC News managed to speak with the motorist who made the call to the authorities. While speaking off camera, he recalls what he witnessed.
So as I was coming along Waterford Bottom heading towards the roundabout, I saw a bumper in the road and what I assumed was cardboard at first. As I got closer, I realized that it was actually a body lying in the road. I immediately called the police. While on the phone with the police, the gentleman was parked by the sign, walked down and started freaking out and saying he can't believe that he hit somebody. He can't believe that he hit somebody. And eventually tucked up his bumper and went into his vehicle and drove off. Myself and another motorist blocked off both sides of the road.
Desmond Beckles is now calling for one thing.
Find the perpetrator, bring it to justice.
Police investigations are ongoing. Crystal Hoyt, CBC News.
The parliamentary opposition is raising concerns over governance issues highlighted in the Integrity Commission's report on the Estate Bridge development in Beverly Hills. The opposition alleges a conflict of interest as the Prime Minister's private company Imperium Investments held shares in Estate Bridge during its application for building approvals. It's concerned, too, that the development property in question was transferred to Estate Bridge by the Prime Minister's offshore company ADMAT Incorporated by way of gift. The opposition is calling for the Prime Minister to relinquish oversight of agencies connected to real estate approvals and enforce stricter cabinet conduct standards. Additionally, it says it supports the Integrity Commission's recommendation for an independent investigation into irregularities at the KSAMC, urging that the process remain free from political interference. The number of guns seized at the wharf in Kingston on Wednesday has increased from 33 to 43. The weapons were found in a shipment which originated from the United States and involved 5 barrels that were declared as containing grocery and clothing items. According to police reports, among the items seized were 3 fully assembled firearms and various component parts such as pistol slides, rifle barrels, and magazines. From preliminary assessment, the component part can assemble an additional 39 pistols and 1 rifle. The Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, says it is working with local and international law enforcement agencies to identify those responsible for the illicit shipment. Vendors in Port Maria have been given the green light to sell on the streets for the Christmas season, but with conditions. Shamela Pullen reports.
Over 30 spots in the town of Port Maria St. Mary have been assigned for vendors to sell their goods on the streets during the festive season. This will be on a first-come, first-served basis, so vendors need to apply early to secure their area.
We have some spots on Stenny Street that is closer by Hesco Plaza. We have right beside Chicken Hut across from Giant Supermarket in that lay-by area there. We have marked out and persons will be there between Courts in the town, Courts Furniture Store and the ST Restaurant. There's a few other spots. There's also another section that we're gonna allow them between the bridge, Outram Bridge and Courts.
Mayor of Port Maria, Fitzroy Wilson, however, says this is not for everyone, as vendors who sell market produce like meat and fish will still be required to operate inside the market.
We have a market and we are less than 50% occupancy in the market. The spots are there, their stalls are there, they are not occupied. And we're saying in the market, you're safe, you have electricity, you have bathroom facility, you're not left up to the increments. So what we're saying, we are asking them to use the market for the market produce. And this is not something I'm going to go back on.
This temporary arrangement will be in place until January 6, after which vending on the streets will no longer be permitted. However, this policy only applies to Port Maria and not all markets in the parish.
The problem with Donata Bay and Highgate is that there's no market. The Highgate market was burnt down some time ago, and there's no market structure for us to structure that area. The Donata Bay market, we have signed a contract for approximately $21 million last month, and the Donata Bay market is under construction. So therefore, we cannot enforce as we would want to do in those areas.
Shamela Pullen, TVJ News.